Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dead Air with Darryl. Tonight's guest, Dr. Leg, with special musical guest, SkrumpBumpky. I'm your disembodied voice, Greyscale Peacock. Now, please welcome to the stage your host, Darryl.
Wait, what are we listening to again? Dead Air is a place you want to go when you listen to the radio. Yeah, Dead Air. Oh, yeah. Dead Air is a place where you want to see when you're on the south from the sea top fountain. Seek it down the stairs and you put it on the back and down the barge disposal. Yeah. Dead Air. Oh, Dead Air. Dead Air. Oh, Dead Air. Yeah. Dead Air. Oh, baby. Dead Air. Yeah. Dead Air is where you want to go. Baby. Dead Air. Dead Air.
Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Darryl, and you are watching Dead Air. It's very exciting for us tonight because it is our very first show on the series, and we have a massive guest to start this series out. I don't know if you've ever heard of a little man by the name of Dr. Leg, but he is well known across the nation as one of the most successful cat connoisseurs. Now, you're probably thinking, what does this have to do with being a doctor? I'm asking myself the same question. We're about to ask him that question. So, please welcome Dr. Leg to the show. Dr. Leg, thank you so much for coming on here.
Hello. Yes, I'm quite honored.
Well, I'm honored to have you. I mean, you've put out 6 books on cats and cat behavior, cat sciences. The first question I have right out the gate is just where this passion derives from.
Well, it's very promising, this field I'm in. I'm just hoping to expose more people of these sciences.
Well, certainly. I think it's amazing you're paving the way for more people to know about this and these sciences. I do have a question about one of your specific books. It's called Adopt, 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 Adopt. And in case our viewers don't know, it's kind of this turtles all the way down mentality where the book is about how if your cat tends to have more social anxiety, then maybe you should adopt a comfort cat for it. And so then it has its own pet to help deal with social anxiety. And so I was wondering, where does that concept come from? Like, is there more social anxiety in cats in recent years?
I think cats that are more cognizant of other cats are more friendly, and they have better control of their emotions. And when when a cat is a parent to a kitten, it's a magical experience for the owner to oversee as well.
So would you consider that like being a grandparent to a kitten in that case?
I don't like the word grandparent. I think it's kind of pretentious.
Well, clearly you know a lot more about it than I do. But I heard backstage we were talking in the green room, and you said you have a presentation you wanted to show us this evening.
Yeah, I actually do.
All right, well, let's get right into that. I'm a little confused right at the gate because I thought, with all of your cat expertise, we'd be going into a cat presentation, but I'm definitely interested in what I'm seeing right now. What is this?
So my fascination with cats and my multitude of books I've written upon them has led me into Cat's fear of snakes. On all the books and Wikipedia articles that I've edited.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
If you so this first slide talks about why snake bites.
Mm-hmm.
And
So why is that?
it as you can see at the bottom, it clearly lays out the layman's terms, the no shop talk required. The snake's teeth.
Right. Well, I always appreciate that about your educational twist, was that you were very straightforward and just explained it to people like me that we don't know anything about snakes or bites. I've never heard of this concept before.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's very easy to get your words jumbled when you know all the technical terms.
I can only imagine.
Like venom. People don't know what that means.
No, I have seen that movie though. Does that play a part in?
No.
So those are
No.
Those are two separate things then.
It's blasphemous. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend with that.
No. The next slide continues into common misconceptions. Like I said, yes. So you should suck venom out is a common thing. Yeah.
I've heard that one.
You shouldn't read everything you see on a slideshow, because that isn't true. Because of the reason that is right there.
Yeah, I'm reading that right now. So what about this second one? It says copperhead bites are harmless. That's a misconception?
It actually is, because if you got bit by a copperhead and you irritated the bite with salt, things that aren't even listed here, bleach, acid. If you made mustard gas with that bleach, it would harm you. So
is a copperhead's bite more of a metaphor for more harmful things out there, like bleach?
Yes. Yes. And the more colorful, the more dangerous.
What about this last one with the snake not knowing its own strength? I assume that implies when
it's very true. So rattlesnakes, that sound is it's alluring, and people get attracted to that sound. And the snake just likes that sound too, because they've evolved because they like that sound.
Wait, so you're saying that's the entire reason that a rattlesnake has a rattle, is because it likes the sound? I did not know that. So wait, so is saying with snakes not knowing their own strength, with, I assume, venom, this is a misconception. I'm reading it right now. It says it's because of how accessible internet is. Is this something that is a theory you've come up with yourself, or is this taught?
I think the internet is only useful if people use it in the correct way. So.
This is very deep and compelling.
So, not only do snakes not know their own strength, but they don't realize how small they are either. Snakes have such a snakes don't fuck.
I'm sorry, what is it about snakes being small?
Snakes don't actually realize how small they are, and their brains are so small that they aren't even aware of how small they are, because they have tiny little heads.
That's so tragic. I can't even imagine.
So when people get bit, the education on what they should do next is often very gray, and the first thing you should do is to find out what type of snake it was, and I love snakes, and snakes are like right below cats on as far as my interest levels. Cats and then snakes. So I love snakes. So you should always find out what snake it was. Not only for me, for my sake, but it's good for science too, because you can donate your snake bite to science with a somewhat complicated surgery to remove the skin and whatever under, depending on how deep it is. Sometimes we've removed whole arms, depending on how. But that, I don't want to get into that. There's some legal ramifications.
I haven't heard of that before. Sorry to kind of push you in a specific direction, but you said you don't want to get into that. That sounds compelling, though. Is that something that might come up later in the slideshow?
No.
Okay. Because it sounded like you were kind of alluding to the process of removing a limb for science, possibly. But I'll let you continue. Sorry.
We're going through a lengthy legal battle right now, so I'm not sure I'm completely allowed to say. But yes.
So this first step, you said why, but how do you determine the snake?
So just take a mental picture, or if you want, you could use you could draw it if you're good at drawing. Okay. You could paint it. Mm-hmm. You could, you've already been bit once. You could pick it up and take it with you. So you could bring it to me. They have those little pincher things to pick up, plastic cups on the side of the interstate. You could use one of those.
Is that something that you've been cleared to say you're allowed to use? Because that sounds harmful.
No. But you could also just take a picture if you've been bit once, you don't have much to lose after that. And snakes never bite a second time, ever. They've never done that. No.
Is it like a bee where they may die if they...
I don't think it's like that. It's more of snakes expect you to, if I might say, F off after the first bite. So you usually just walk off. And that sort of thing. People are scared of snakes too. That plays into effect. So if you've been bit, you're going to ask me about it. So, or one of my colleagues who's more specifically in tune to snake. Snake is more of a secondary field. So now that you've identified it through some sort of visual art form, like a mental description or a painting, you can identify it and you can treat the wound. I probably couldn't. I'm very busy. But at some point near the end of this month, after a funeral I'm going to, I actually work. But how to treat one? I have many secretaries, definitely. But if I'm not available to treat a snake bite, how would you treat it? How would you treat the wound? How do you do it? you would remove it.
Just the body part as a whole.
You could, yes. And there are many ways, depending on how much time you have. Like I said earlier, if there's a non-invasive surgery, there's a, it's similar to I don't know if you've seen Fargo, but there's a meat grinder that grinds the body parts into a paste.
Yes, they did that with Steve Buscemi. Was Steve Buscemi a snake?
You know, I don't think it was a snake. And you know what? Since snakes and lizards are basically the same thing, once you've been bitten once, you can just regrow the limb, because you're like Spider-Man now, and you've taken in. And if it's a radioactive snake, you might turn into a snake. But lizards are like half people, half snakes, so you might just grow the limb back after you've cut it off.
I've heard that before.
Me too. I think that's actually people will claim it's a half truth or
But I didn't see it on the misconception page, so I assumed that.
You know what? We need to get Snopes to figure out if this is true or not. Yes. And that is all.
Wow. All right. Well, I appreciate it a lot. That was very educational and a surprise, but definitely a welcome one. Alright, well, we're coming to a close for our interview, so we're going to go to the calls real fast, give everyone a chance to call in and ask the guest a question. We have someone right now. Caller, you are on the air.
Hey, my name's Bill. I was hiking out here in Goblin Valley, Nevada, and I heard this rattling noise and this sharp pain in my leg, and I'm not sure if I got bit, but my face is starting to feel a little numb and more kind of dizzy. So if you could tell me what I should do, that would be great. I'm not getting a lot of good reception out here too, so if you could make it quick, that would be...
Oh, it looks like they lost connection there. Do you have anything?
It sounds a lot like tetanus, and I think you should get a tetanus vaccine.
Well, I don't know if they're still listening. They lost connection, but if you're still out there listening, that is the direct recommendation from a doctor. All right, we're going to go to the next caller. Caller, you are on the air.
So, hello, this is Randall. So, I had 14 cats, now 12, and I just gotta say I'm a huge fan, Professor Like. So I've read your book, Natural Remedies for Felines. And in chapter 7 you describe how to make a cast for broken legs with naturally aged urine, bird feces, and cocaine. And after applying those, my last 2 cats died. So I guess my question is, Professor, like, what did I do wrong? What could I have overseen? Thank you.
Randall, the cocaine part, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it wasn't cocaine. Cocaine is an illicit substance. You can substitute. Cocaine must have been a typo. I'm pretty sure that cocaine was a. You can use any white powdery substance, anything in that sort of viscosity. I don't flower or...
Well, it looks like we're running out of time here. The producers are trying to get me to shut it all down, so we're going to drop the calls for now. Thank you so much for the people that did call in. I want to say thank you to Dr. Leg. Wow, what an amazing presentation, and you're such a smart, educational educator. Thank you for coming on the show. All right, well, we're going to go to a quick commercial break and come right back to y'all with our musical guest.
This episode of Dead Air is brought to you by Dad Air. Tune in every day at 5 p.m. to hear the latest about the big game, grilling, lawn maintenance, and so much more. Special guest Bob Morty talks about his new book, How to Be a Good Dad and a Better Golfer, this Thursday, along with other guest dads every day of the week. Dad Air. If you need a father, look no farther.
Well, we're coming to an end of the show. I just want to say one final thank you to every single person that helped make this episode possible. Now, please welcome our musical guest of the evening, SkrumpBumpky.
The Bonzo Dog Doodah Band was officially formed on the 25th of September, 1962, at 164C Rosendale Road, West Dulwich, when Vivian Stanshaw, lead vocals, tuba, other wind instruments, and fellow art student Rodney Slater, saxophone, clarinet, bonded over the late-night transatlantic broadcast of a boxing match between Floyd Patterson and Sonny Liston, after being introduced by Slater's flatmate, Tom Parkinson. At the time, Slater was already playing in a traditional jazz band at the college with Parkinson on sousaphone and Chris Jennings on trombone, trumpeter Roger Happy Wilkes, and banjo player Trevor Brown were the founders of this loose conglomerate at the Royal College of Art, although the lineup is thought to have been exceptionally fluid and constantly evolving, consisting of as many as 40 to 50 rotating members, if Stanshaw's later recollections are to be believed. Stanshaw would become the band's next recruit after that day in 1962, when he and Slater rechristened by the existing group, the Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. In the 2004 BBC 4 documentary